Okay, here we go again. And I literally mean that again. I'll explain after I play the play-in music. You are listening to KPCA LP, Petaluma, California, at 103.3 FM and worldwide at www.kpca.fm. And this is the Midnight Skeptic. The views of the Midnight Skeptic are not, repeat, not necessarily the views of KPCA or any of its affiliates. Okay, this is attempt number 2 to record the Midnight Skeptic. And I don't know what I did the first time through, but it didn't take. So here we go again. And boy, relearning all of these things is quite a feat for me. And I'm back in a recovering mode after a major surgery and a fall in my bathroom up here in Petaluma, my house, and broke my hip, and then was hauled off, and they repaired it with a couple of screws. Okay, this is February 2nd, Friday, and it's now about 8:30. So it's going to be a 58-minute rant. Maybe it won't even take that long. Last week I didn't use up my full 58 minutes, but this is week number 2 of the Return of the Mad Ranter. Excuse me. And there are a few items that I left out on the broadcast last week that I'm going to catch up with, and a couple of things that I've got to clarify for my thousands and thousands of listeners out there, which I will do. Okay, but first, the mission statement. The purpose of the Midnight Skeptics KPCA show, which I'm doing now, at 9 p.m. on Sunday. It will be the 4th. And that's on the radio portion of this. It's going to be downloaded to YouTube as soon as I do everything right that I'm supposed to do to get all this downloaded. Okay. The mission statement. Why am I doing this? It is to rid this country of all Republican, MAGA-head, conservative Trumpists, their God King, and their ignorant anti-science ideas. People that go to Trump rallies wearing their red, white, and blue cowboy hats and their windbreakers and worship him. He really is a leader of a cult. All right. Shout-outs. Got to do shout-outs. And I'm going to do my list from last week. It's not going to change much except for the addition of Art Kuznets. He clicks on like now and then when I post what my show is going to be like on my Facebook page. And he likes once in a while. So, and I keep forgetting to mention him. He's a local guy. I knew him from the days when I went to the Jewish temple. My late wife, who passed away in 2013, was Jewish, and Rabbi Ted Feldman was a great guy. I like him a lot, and he was somebody you could have a normal conversation with, unlike pastors that are of the fundamentalist Christian bent. Anyway, enough of that. Okay, shout outs. Mickey Huff and his two cohorts in Project Censored, Nolan Higdon and Andy Lee Roth. And you can order Project Censored's State of the Free Press 2024 book, and they make a new one every year. And you can go to their website, Project Censored. Okay, and there's a hyphen in between Project and Censored. Now, I'm not 100% sure whether that matters or not, but that's the way it is on their website, project-censored.org. Locally, John Crowley at the Aquas Cafe, and check out their events calendar. And I'll mention something that's coming up at Aquas Cafe on the 29th of February. This is a leap month. On the 29th at 4:30, Drinks with Shrinks will occur. Now, all of the psychotherapists in the local area come out of the woodwork and socialize and talk about important things going on in the world and going on in psychotherapy. They don't discuss their clients or patients, whatever they want to call them. But it's an interesting bunch. I went to one of them before I went down to San Diego for all this specialized surgery. And there was about 20 to 25 psychotherapists there enjoying themselves. No, they have a right to. Okay, another shout out. Ralph Scott is resurrecting the Petaluma radio players, of which I was a part way back when we were still going strong before the COVID shut everything down. And we're attempting to get it up and going again. Okay, Tom Gaffey, the manager of the Phoenix Theater, and the Phoenix Theater is a hangout, a nice hangout for what somebody called at one point alternative teens. Okay. John Crowley. Check out their performance schedule online. They lean toward punk, metal, alternative musics. Okay, I'm not familiar with all the current genres of youth music. Okay, Tim Conrad, Tom and Nancy Throw, Kevin and Lori, Dave and Rosita Takach up in Sacramento, Rich and Kathy in Sebastopol, Dennis and Megan in Tiburon, Yvonne and Rich in San Francisco, Stan and Kathy in Pacifica, Aunt Jackie down in L.A. with her two daughters, Samantha and brain freezes, Melanie. Sorry, Melanie. I can't help an occasional brain freeze. My brother Brandon and Mina in Arizona, and my niece Andrea, who's a nurse down there in the Phoenix area. along with her husband, Tim. And they're three little rapidly growing guys. Okay, and also in Arizona, the snake lady, Karina Hilliard, who is an animal control officer. At least she was the last time that I was in contact with her, which is before the COVID shut everything down. I met her at a skeptics conference along with her dad, who seems like a really great guy. I enjoyed my conversations with him. In Arkansas, Shannon Reed, who was living in Petaluma here and was a massage therapist over at in Sonoma at a spa over there. Again, brain freeze. I can't remember the name of it, but she's in real estate back in there, Arkansas now. Down in Florida, Nelson and Alice Lydell. Nelson was in my high school class up in Sonora. And in Florida, also, Amelia Beamer. And she's an editor and a writing consultant and writing helper, I guess. She's helped me. She used to live here in Petaluma as well before she moved to Arizona. And you can look her up on YouTube by going to Locus Magazine, Locus, and which is a magazine of the science fiction, horror, and fantasy genres. She lets you know what's in the latest issue of Locus and what they'll be reviewing, and she does some of the reviews of books herself. And Long Island, Geraldine Goldfinger. Okay, and going up the East Coast, Dr. Dave in Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina. And he is the world's greatest pulmonary physician. And then Long Island, Geraldine Goldfinger. And then back to the West Coast, the Sonora crowd, Robert Finnegan, Bob and Sandy Fisher, and their two children, Brad and Martha. They're not kids anymore. They're, 50-ish. Dara Larson, Judy May, Kathy Francis, Lynn Quayle, John Gleason and his two daughters, Tiffany and and Jennifer. Oh boy, these brain freezes come hot and heavy. And then all the way down to Mexico City, Rosamalia Lopez Negrete. And then, okay, now for the meat of the show, the things that I will be ranting about. Okay, Donald Trump, who is in the pocket of the oil and gas industry, doesn't want wind farms or alternative energy sources of any kind. And one of the things that he says is that wind turbines kill birds as a reason not to switch to wind power. It's, of course, bogus. The reason that he gives is bogus. It does not kill birds. I ran across a pie chart with the reasons that birds get killed. Okay, more than 75% of bird deaths are, wait for it, cats, domestic cats, our little fluffy pets. Collisions with building glass and vehicles are about all of the other 25%, and then little slivers are wind farms, and there's a little slice of the pie labeled other. Okay. All right. Now, um, my thousands and thousands of listeners have um, realized that I am not just not religious, anti religion. It is my uh, not feelings, it is my opinion that religion is the cause of all strife and wars and conflicts on this planet since the beginning of humanity. Okay. Now, I'm going to explain one of the first religions briefly. This isn't going to be a religion class, history of religion, or anything like that. And, well, what is it, you might be asking? Zoroastrianism is an ancient Persian religion that began about 4,000 years ago, more or less. And it was the world's first monotheistic faith. It was the state religion of 3 Persian dynasties until the Muslim conquest in the 7th century of the current era. That was 600 and in the mid 600s when the Islamic faith under Muhammad was sweeping all over the Arabian Peninsula and into North Africa and up the Levant, which is, what is now today Israel and Lebanon. That's grape juice. My throat kind of gets extremely dried out now. Okay, ancient religion, 3 Persian dynasties. It helped shape the Abrahamic religions, which is Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Its tenets included the concept of Satan, or the devil, which was, in their opinion, the evil spirit Angra Mainyu, capital Mainu, who opposes Ahura Mazda, which is the name of the creator in Zoroastrianism. And another concept was of angels, who were benevolent beings, and they called them Amesha Spentas. Okay? I don't know what the purpose of angels was, but they believed in them. And they also had the concept of the Messiah. At the end of time, will lead humanity in a final battle against Angra Mainyu, Sao Shayant, which all of that translated, and I'm sure I didn't pronounce it right, the beneficent one. The first encounter between ancient peoples who developed historical Judaism and Persian Zoroastrianism was around the Babylonian captivity. That's referring to the Jews that were kidnapped and shipped back to Babylon. A Persian king, Cyrus, liberated the Hebrews from Babylon. Darius organized and funded their return to Jerusalem to rebuild their temple. And so Zoroaster was the name of the founder and prophet of Zoroastrianism. And there's I guess you could say a handful of people that are Zoroastrians. I'm not sure of where they are. Okay, let's see. Moving right along. Okay, atheism. According to fundamentalists and evangelical Christians, atheism is a religion that should be considered as much a religion as Christianity or Judaism or Islam or any other. Well, it's not, of course, but they want it treated that way in legal circles. So when Christians want prayer in the classroom and it's struck down by courts, they say, well, with no prayer in the classroom, the law is promoting atheism. Well, that's a very twisted form of logic, but it's not true. Okay, and I have some things that demarcate atheism. Now, you might say, somebody might say that I, the Midnight Skeptic, am an atheist. Well, I'm not. I don't label myself as anything. Religion has just not played a part in my life. It's just when people mention, well, what religion are you? It just doesn't really register. Okay, so here is atheism is not a religion and the reasons why. And I forget where I got this. Okay, well, anyway, I'll just go down the list. And these are brief. It doesn't go into theocratic argumentation or anything like that. Okay, religion involves worship. Atheists do not worship anything. No gods, no demons, no ancestors, no animals, no celestial objects, no kings or other humans, no acts of nature, no inanimate objects. If you can name it, we don't worship it. Holy books. Atheists have no holy books. The books we believe in are works of science, philosophy, and history. Holy men and women. Atheists have no holy men or women to interpret our books or rituals or tell us what to believe. Instead, we have learned people to teach us how to think critically. Critical thinking. Temples, churches, mosques, and other places of worship. There are no places where atheists gather to worship. Atheists may meet in mundane places like offices, restaurants, and conference halls. However, we discuss issues that affect atheists. No worship takes place. Rituals. There are no rituals associated with atheism, like baptism or dunking somebody in a river or a lake or something. There's no eating of wafers or chugging a shot of red wine that represents the flesh and blood of a god, for example. We do not circumcise our children for religion's sake. We do not sacrifice animals. We don't eat human flesh. We don't dance naked under the full moon. We don't test the depth of our belief by letting snakes bite us, as do a cult of Christianity, fundamentalist Christianity, the snake handlers. The afterlife. Atheists don't believe in a heaven, a hell, or reincarnation. We have one life, and death is total oblivion. Kind of like the ending of The Sopranos TV series. The screen just goes blank. We have one life, and let's live it as best we can by helping other people, loving your partner, whoever he or she may be. More love, mo better. Okay. Rules and commandments. Atheists don't have any. There are no rules handed down from ancient atheists to control us. We use empathy and reason to guide our behavior. Conformity. For atheists, lifestyle is a matter of personal choice. We dress according to our own dictates. We eat what we want and can tolerate. We associate with whom we choose. We are not and do not strive to be uniform in how we live our lives. And I might expand on this a bit. We don't condemn other people for how they choose to live their lives unless it involves hurting other people or bringing sadness into the world, which is what the Republican Party does, unfortunately. Holy days. We don't have any holy days. Atheists do not have holy days. Our days that we live our lives are on the secular calendar. There's a blank spot on this printout, and I'm having to read around it. Tithing. Atheists don't tithe. We may voluntarily donate to charities or atheist organizations dedicated to education, health, and toward the separation of church and state, and protect the rights of others to practice whatever religion they want to practice. And I would add, as long as it doesn't bring unhappiness, sadness, or harm to other people. Some religions do. All right. Proselytizing. Atheists don't proselytize. We believe in freedom of choice, meaning choice of belief or no belief at all. The Mormons send out pairs of, what do they call it? Send out pairs of recruiters. I guess that's the only thing you could call them. They're trying to convince others that Mormonism is the end-all and be-all of getting yourself saved. Saved from what? I don't really know. Brain freezes are a fact of getting old, and they crop up in my brain now and then. Okay. Prayer. Atheists don't pray. We never offer thoughts and prayers in time of need. If the occasion calls for it, an atheist may take action, such as promoting a solution, raising or donating funds, collecting goods, building or rebuilding establishments, circulating a petition, protesting, or performing helpful services. Of course, many theists offer more than thoughts and prayers as well. The supernatural. Okay. Magic, witchcraft, wizardry, sorcery, and voodoo are a few supernatural elements that theists may believe in. They also may believe in prophetic dreams, extrasensory perception, faith healing, and ghosts. Atheists do not believe in the supernatural. All religions have most or all of these key markers of religion. Atheism has none. Therefore, atheism is not a religion. I was just chucking that into my paper recycling bag. Okay, other things. Change of topic. The fossil fuel industry, or big oil, knew of the climate crisis as far back as 1954. Now, earlier, like 5 or 6 years ago, when I first started out, I said that Exxon's, EXXON's, own scientists knew as far back as 1969 and 1970 that if all of that oil and gas that they pull up from the ground were burned in cars, planes, ships, trucks, power plants, that it would affect the climate. Okay, well, it goes further back than that. I believed that as far back as it went, but there are some new documents that were just discovered or unearthed, and the lady who did it, her name is Rebecca John. Okay, let me give you her @ number. Small r, REBECCA _ capital JOHN 1. Okay, yeah, look her up. And I found this article on Desmog newsletter. Okay, and that is spelled capital DE, capital SMOG. Look them up too. I had never seen them until about a week ago when I was just cruising around the internet. Okay, enough of that. The fossil fuel and automotive industries knew that their products could destabilize the Earth's climate as far back as 1954. A young Caltech researcher named Charles David Keeling gathered atmospheric samples of CO2 in the western United States from January 1955 to June 1956 in the Big Sur, over the city and county of LA, and over the Pacific Ocean, and over the high desert. The fossil fuel industry funded his research via Okay, now this is an organization that was big in the 1950s and 60s. Um, the Southern California Air Pollution Foundation. Okay, and the automotive uh, companies, uh, GM, Ford, Chrysler, and American Motors also contributed to the effort to study this. And the American Petroleum Institute, the API, also contributed. And these were new documents that just surfaced, um, letters and missives back and forth. And what was developed was the Keeling Curve, Keeling curve. And it's slightly different than the hockey stick curve, although the Keeling curve goes up in a predictable manner. Uh, and The Keeling curve is uh, sine curves. That's what I'm looking for. Is sine curves that gradually uh, bend upwards toward more recent times. And what that is the levels of CO2 in the atmosphere. And temperature rising is something else that can be measured and more or less follows the Keeling curves. Okay, enough of that. New topic: Texas book banning update. In a school district in the suburbs of Houston, which is, I'm not going to name it, it's dangerous, a teacher has created a bookshelf clandestinely that has nothing but books banned by the Republicans of Texas, those evil creeps. An NPR reporter, National Public Radio reporter, interviewed 3 teenagers from the district school, or a district school within this district. One said, "We don't want to jeopardize our teacher in any way." Or the bookshelf. A teacher could become a target of far right wing groups. The secret bookshelf began in 2021 when Texas State Representative Matt Krause, capital Krause, he put out a list of 850 books he wanted banned from Texas schools. The teacher, and I'm not going to name him or her, began stocking this secret shelf with copies of some books on Krause's list. And here's a little bit of info about Matt Krause. He got his BA degree from San Diego Christian, and he got his Juris Doctorate at Liberty University. That's the old Jerry Falwell one. So you know where he's coming from. He was running for Texas Attorney General against Ken Paxton. Well, he dropped out of the race, the political race, and endorsed, are you ready for this? Louis Gohmert for Attorney General. I'm not sure how that race unfolded, but Louis Gohmert? Give me a break. Okay. Last week, I've got uh, a marker here referring me to. Okay, another reason that religion is um, the the cause of all wars, strifes, uh, killings on this planet. Okay, and here's another example, as if we needed another one. In India, the Ram, R-A-M, Mandir was officially consecrated. Well, what is that? Um, it was consecrated by Narendra Modi, the head guy in India, on the site of a destroyed 16th century Muslim mosque. It wasn't destroyed in the 16th century. It was destroyed relatively recently. And he said, I believe, Narendra Modi, this will herald the advent of a new era in India of Hindu nationalism and rule by the right-wing BJP political party that in 1992 led the destruction of the Babri Masjid Mosque. More than 2,000 Muslims were killed. Okay, and the Progressive International quotes, today, the Modi government has made a decisive move to overthrow India's secular constitution in the name of a new Hindu supremacist nation. Okay, again, that's the Progressive International. Oh, in the margin of my notes, I mentioned Ryan Walters. He's the Oklahoma State Superintendent of Education. And on November 22nd of last year, he made a speech, and I'm not sure where he made this, but he promoted the theory that there were cat boxes in grammar school classrooms to accommodate kids, K through 5, I guess, that wanted to identify as cats. Okay, how that got started, and it shows you how stupid the right-wing Republican MAGA heads are. It got started because this teacher, and I think it was a grammar school classroom in Kentucky, maybe it was Tennessee, but she had a rather large bucket and she filled it almost up with cat litter. It wasn't for kids who identified as cats. What it was is an emergency bathroom when the classroom is locked down by a shooter, which we have a lot of, and that is a horrible commentary on our country that we have to do this and think about things like that. Okay, let's see. One of these days, I'm going to organize my notes, and this will go smoother. Okay, Uh, 64 years ago, in August 1st, 1960, four young black men sat in a Greensboro, North Carolina Woolworth luncheonette and ordered themselves some coffee. The waitress said, and I'm quoting, "I'm sorry, we don't serve Negroes here." They sat there until closing time. The next day, others joined them, and TV and newspaper reporters showed up, as well as what were probably future Trump voters who splashed things on them, but they hung on, and it was the lunch counter sit in. Okay, February is Black History Month. Already there are MAGA haters saying there shouldn't be Black History Month. If GOP MAGAs don't understand why we have a Black History Month, they're the main reason why we need one. Speaking of MAGA haters, why are they afraid of Taylor Swift's influence? She's a very nice, talented, fair, and compassionate entertainment person. And when you say MAGA, that stands for Make America Great Again. Okay, well, when do they think America was great? Was it before 1920? Before women could vote? Was it in the 40s when we were just barely coming out of the Great Depression under Franklin Delano Roosevelt's tutelage and political machinations? The 50s, when before the Civil Rights Movement, wherein blacks knew their place and we didn't have to put up with immigrants from down south. When were we great? Was it before blacks and whites could use the same bathrooms or drinking fountains or entrances to bus stations? Was America great during the Jim Crow era in the South? Okay. I haven't heard any of them try to explain that. Okay. The orange sociopathic bloat bag has been skimming off $50 million from his pile of small dollar donations to pay his legal fees. Back in 2015 and 2016, I don't think the GOP realized what a grifter he was. Down ballot Republicans will be the ones to suffer the most, and I'm glad of that. His faithful flock will dig out a couple of bucks of hard-earned money and send it to him. Okay, that's a good thing. I'm glad. His stupid-ass base will continue donating their hard-earned money to him. Okay, today, Friday, February 2nd, it's the day KPCA went live on air. And I attended the first organizing meeting of KPCA radio, and there was a whole room full of generally younger people that wanted to have their own DJ shows. And I, you know, music, I like music, but it's just not my thing for spinning records or whatever. And so when Rob Tomaszewski came around with his clipboard signing us all up, uh, I had to decide, well, what do I want to do? I didn't actually go there thinking I would do anything, but I told him, well, I can do a talk show host. Well, then he asked me, what do you want to call it? And I had to come up with a name. And on the spot, I came up with the Midnight Skeptic. So here we are. And I'm playing my play out music now. You have been listening to the Midnight Skeptic on KPCA LP, Petaluma, California. And we're at 103.3 on the FM dial and worldwide at www.kpca.fm. Support community radio at patreon.com/Petaluma Community Access. And remember, think critically, think logically, but live joyously, and most importantly, pet your cats. Okay, I'll do this again next week. Hopefully it will go smoother, and I'm not sure which day I'm going to do it on, but it will be broadcast over KPCA 103.3 FM locally and worldwide on kpca.fm. And it's going to be up on YouTube very soon, like tonight, as soon as I get done doing this. So here we go, and I will see you all next week.